Now that you've heard a little bit about permission questions, Luis and Lori are going to talk about their thoughts on the permission question, also introducing, if you will, good practice and using a permission question to transition through the different areas of an interaction with a client, and also some bad practice examples.
The thing is, I really like permission questions because it's a way to get a buy-in from whoever you're talking to. However, I feel like a lot of times the common mistake people make is that they ask a permission question not just to ask it rather than for it to be like for a reason. For example, they'll ask a permission question, whereas if the person says no, it's gonna just like derail everything they're doing. They're like, we're here to talk about your trauma. Is it okay if we talk about it? And if they say no, then what are you gonna do from there? I feel like people sometimes will paint themselves in a corner. And it's important when you're using permission questions to really be mindful of why you're asking it and sort of like giving options. What are your thoughts?
Well, I have to say, I really like permission questions because, what it helps to do is also guide you in terms of what the client is ready for and what they're not. So for me, when I've used permission questions and I've said, would you like me to share, some suggestions with you? And they were like, well, I'd like to do my research first. And I'm really happy with that because it kind of shows me like that they're engaged or motivated, in the process, and it tells me where they're at, where they're saying basically before you kind of tell me what to do, like, I want to take a look and find out my own information.
Well, no, absolutely. Because what you're saying is that it's a way to really respect their self-determination, really allowing them to gauge where they're at, whether they're ready to talk about certain things or whether they're not. And so I love that you explained it that way. And if we think about using permission questions that way, then I think we're always going to be successful.
I think it stresses autonomy, right? Like what MI really wants to emphasize. So permission questions for me has been extremely effective.